Welcome then to Saint-Malo on the north coast of Brittany in France for the start of the 40th anniversary edition of the Route de Rome from Saint-Malo to Guadeloupe, 3,542 miles across the Atlantic. Conditions this Sunday, we're coming up to 2 o'clock local time for the start time. Conditions are perfect, 20 knots, 15 knots from the southeast, and only minutes to go before the start line. All the pressure is building up now. The preparation and planning is all behind them. And as I say, conditions just about perfect. Beautiful skies, huge crowds out on the docks, on the beaches, and out on Cape Frail, the first passing point on this passage across the Atlantic, to Guadeloupe. Ahead, we have a big Tuesday with storm force winds in the Bay of Biscay, fairly typical of this race, and we're inside then 1 minute as the fleet gets ready to rumble across the Atlantic. So the first stage, it's really about pushing hard. It's a rich get richer scenario for the leaders. We have 6 old teams, the fastest yachts in the world, transoceanic yachts, and the latest of them is Sebastian Joss's Gitana. Favourites for this race, also Massif, winner of the last race in the Amoca class, as we have less than 15 seconds now to go to the start of this record edition of the Route de Rome, destination Guadeloupe. 10 seconds to go, and the start line, nobody wants to be over the line. There's a 4-hour penalty if you're over the start line, so fairly conservative. And the gun goes, and we're off and running to Guadeloupe from Saint-Malo. And this is the longest start line in sailing, with 3 kilometers of distance from the 2 different marks. The fleet is split across the start line with 1 boat in the middle. So there we see Francois Gabard immediately onto the foils on the Massif. The golden boy of French sailing, a winner of the Vendée Globe, first time out. His second participation on this Route de Rome, and the winner of the Amoca class. That was his sign-off to the Amoca class before he moved into the old teams with Massif. And of course, 1 year ago, he was setting off on a new round-the-world solo record, pulverized the record by over 6 days. There we see the first of the Amoca class. Well, we have a record fleet of Amoca yachts here, the Vendée Globe yachts. And then the Massif, then Francois Gabard winding up this 32-meter long old team trimaran, chased there by Thomas Scoville. There we see Alex Thompson then second in the Vendée Globe. This is his first time on the Route de Rome, his first attempt at the Route de Rome. He's never done it before because it's always clashed with the Barcelona race, his preference. So Alex Thompson, one of the favourites. He sailed over 70,000 miles on the Hugo Boss, and it's his last race before he takes delivery of his new Amoca in the early summer of next year. So there we see Sebastian Joss, I think probably the favourite on the old team Edmond de Rothschild. Joss has never won a major transatlantic. This is his 3rd attempt at the Route de Rome, and he's done more training. He is certainly the local media favourite. This is a Verdi design. And then we see SMA there leading this little group of Amoca 60s, and then we're on board now with Loic Perron on board the 12-meter long Happy. Loic is the holder of the course record for this passage, won in 2014 on board the Maxi Trimaran Banque Populaire. And there we see Sebastian Joss then. Record is expected to fall. The record is just over 7 days, and we're expecting the first old team in probably next Saturday morning. So we're talking about between 5.5 and 6, just a little bit over 6 days, so depending who you listen to. And that's Thomas Coville on board Sodebo, previous holder of the solo round-the-world record, which was broken 1 year ago, or just under a year ago, by Francois Gabard. So the leading old teams at the moment in about 15, 16 knots of breeze are already hitting 30 knots at time. So Thomas Coville won the IMOCA class back in 1998. And there we see Loic Perron again on this diminutive 12-metre trimaran, which he bought. He was going to do the last race on this yacht. And he had to step into the shoes of Armand Lecléache, get on board Banque Populaire at the very last minute. Armand Lecléache was injured, and they're just seeing the bow of Hugo Boss. There we see Jan Elias. And Loic Perron just checking under the mainsail of the Happy, this little trimaran. A clean start by all the fleets so far. And the IMOCAs then just, the solo skippers winding their 60-foot yachts up. Now looking at the multi-50s, well, there are 6 multi-50s, probably the most fragile yachts in the fleet. And they're now fitted with foils. They have 1 design foils fitted over the course of last winter. And the champion on this course is Erwin Leroux, who is looking to complete the double, won in 2014. And this is his 3rd participation. 3 times winner of the Transat Jacques Vabre is Erwin Leroux. And the leader, Top Hope, then Alain Roura, then the youngest skipper on the last Vendée Globe, has a new boat, which has foils now, fitted foils through the winter. Recently relaunched the boat with foils. Only 25 years old. Swiss skipper, and his boat is a Finot Conque design. And then one of the latest, or the very latest yacht then, is the Charal there, super fast VPLP design, only launched 2 months ago. The first of the new generation IMOCAs for Jérémy Biou. Big question mark is whether an IMOCA of only 2 months old can complete this course. We're expecting 40 knots on Tuesday in this big storm in the Bay of Biscay. It's just going to be a really delicate process to try and get protect the skippers and the yachts as they go through this big storm. So there we see Edec, Francis Joyon, crude record holder around the world. Slightly older generation Ultime. Just racing the newest of the Ultimes there out to the right. Just to windward is Edmond de Rothschild, then Sebastian Josse. So Joyon's crude record is 40 days and 23 hours round the world with a 6-man crew, previous holder of the solo round the world record, and he did exceed the round the world record, as I say, just under a year ago to this man, Francois Gabard, winner of the Vendée Globe 2 editions ago. Really has been pretty much unbeaten in his career since moving out of the Figaro solo class. And then Thomas Coville is 50 years old. This is his last race with this Ultime. The Ultime is sold and he will move into a new boat. His boat is going to Yves Le Blavec. So Banque Populaire against the massif Armand Lecléache, previous winner of the Vendée Globe, or the holder of the Vendée Globe title. And his IMOCA capsized in April. And so it's been a real catch-up for Armel. So these old teams then leading the charge across the Atlantic. We're just getting out of the channel tonight. And perfect conditions now with that big storm as they head for Guadeloupe.